Traders, let me tell you about a trader I worked with. I'll call him Jake. Jake passed his challenge on the third attempt. Careful, disciplined, stuck to his rules. Finished comfortably above the profit target. Day one of the funded account, he sent me a message, Darren, right, this is it. This is where it starts. I'm not stuffing it up anymore this time. 11 days later, the account was gone. Here's the thing. He didn't do anything dramatically wrong. He didn't revenge trade aggressively. He didn't suddenly abandon his strategy. He fell into a pattern, a very specific 3-day pattern, one that I now see funded accounts over and over again. Let's go back. Day one, the big day. Day one of the pattern is a great day. Not even a full trading week in. Somewhere between day 2 and day 5, everything just clicks. Entries are clean. Trades go in your direction. Maybe you close a session up 2.5% for the day. For a funded account, that's a strong day. You feel it. That specific feeling of, yes, I've got this thing. I've figured this thing out. Nothing wrong with the trades. Nothing wrong with the result. The problem is invisible. Your internal reference point has just shifted. Before that day, a good week was 3 or 4% on the way to hitting the monthly target or the target. After that day, 3 or 4% for the week feels like leaving some money on the table. Your brain has updated what performing well actually means based on one session. You don't notice this happening. Nobody does, but it happened. Next, we come on to day 2. Day 2 is what I call the flat day. Next session, the market's not quite doing the same thing. Different energy. Setups aren't quite as clean. On a normal week, you look at the market and decide it's not your day. You'll either trade a very small amount or just not trade at all. But you're not in a normal mindset. You're in the build on yesterday mindset. So you look harder. You find setups that are close, not quite on point, entries not as clean as you would like. Confluence is not as strong, but it's not a bad setup either. It's just not your best setup. So you take it. Maybe you take a couple of them. Break even day, maybe slightly in the red. Nothing catastrophic, but there's a low level of frustration running underneath now. You had momentum. You wanted to extend it. Well, the market didn't cooperate. And this is where we come into day 3, the expensive day. Day 3 is where the account actually gets hurt. You take a hit. You're carrying 2 things into this session, the high from day 1 and the frustration from day 2. You need today to matter. You need today to be a good day. You find a setup, it looks reasonable, but you size up. Maybe not massively, maybe just a little, because you feel good about this one. Or you hold a winning trade longer than you should because you're trying to make this the day that makes the week. Trade goes against you. Now you're in drawdown. Now you're frustrated. You're in a funded account that felt under control 3 days ago. The sequence of bad decisions starts here. By the end of that session, most of what you made on day 1 is gone. The account is fragile going into the second week. Some traders recover, most don't. Why is this specific to funded accounts? This pattern exists in personal accounts too, but it hits harder when you are funded because of the maximum drawdown levels is always there, always visible. A bad 3-day run doesn't cost you money, it takes you closer to account termination. That proximity to the end changes how you trade. It adds urgency. It makes you feel like you can't afford to have a slow week, which makes you more likely, of course, to force trades, which makes you more likely to lose, which brings you closer to the number that you are scared of. The fear creates the outcome. There is only one practical thing that you can do and should do. After any session, whether you're up more than 1.5 times your usual daily return, take the next session off or trade micro sizes just to stay sharp. I know that sounds like you're penalizing yourself for doing well, but you're not. You're protecting the account from the emotional state that follows a big win or a good winning day. Also, track your emotional state after every session, not your profit and loss, your emotional state. After 30 or 40 sessions, you will see your own version of this pattern in your own numbers. Once you can see it, you can stop it before day 3 even arrives. Now, further to the story, Jake went on and passed his prop firm 6 months later. He's been funded now for 7 months, and the account is scaling. If you want a step-by-step on how to pass and actually keep a funded trading account, I've put together a free 50-minute training. Links in the description below. Watch the link and subscribe. I put this kind of content out every single week for you traders to help you become a more consistent, profitable trader, to become a successful and then go on to be a professional trader. Hope you enjoy the free training. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.